If you're feeling stuck and unable to finish a certain project that you have going on, or you have overall lost trust in your ability to follow through and bring any project to completion, I have a solution for you. You need to start finishing and completing things. Okay, I know this might sound like I'm messing around, like I'm making fun of you, but there is something here that you're missing. And we can make this practical, straightforward, and relatively easy so that you get to the point of having full trust in your capacity and ability to take on any project and bring it to completion. Let's talk about this. I want to convey the message and advice through a story, a true story. A while ago, I was working with a young man who was struggling for months to complete an essay that he was writing. So he took on this project voluntarily and he deeply cared about writing this essay and writing it well. And as I said, he was struggling with it for months. He was writing, having some sticking points, getting back to writing, struggling some more, then editing some more, revising, and he just couldn't come to the completion where he could say, okay, this is a finished essay and this project that I took on, I managed to finish and here it is. He couldn't get to that point. And after a month of this struggle, we had a conversation where he said, I don't know what to do because right now I don't feel like someone who can complete this essay. Right now, I'm doubting my ability to finish the essay. And that's where the key is, where the key was with him and where the key is with you. He didn't see himself anymore as someone who can complete that essay, or he didn't see himself as someone who completes things or projects, period, not just that essay. And why is this the most important part? Because at that point, when you start doubting your ability or you completely lose trust in your ability to finish a project or to bring any project to completion, then it's not anymore about that project or any other project. This becomes a matter of inner narrative. At that point, it's not about the essay, it's not about the painting, it's not about the song, it's not about any type of project. It's about your internal narrative. And here's what I told him. I told him, okay, now we are not dealing with this essay anymore. We are dealing with how you perceive yourself. This now becomes our priority. That's the major shift. So, if now the priority is for you to become once again or for the first time ever a person who finishes things, here's how we have to look at it. This essay, if it's really personally relevant, you are going to change your expectations for how it needs to look like, what's the level of quality, and you are going to, this way or that way, any type of way, you're going to say, okay, this is done, this is finished. You can do some more writing, give yourself a specific deadline, give yourself another week to do the editing that you want, and it's finished. It's finished. No more talking about this. You're either going to do that if the essay is so important to you, or you're going to be honest with yourself about the level of difficulty with continuing to write or editing that essay. You're going to be honest with yourself about how important that particular essay actually is. And then what's going to happen most probably is you're going to abandon it and take on a significantly easier project that you know for a fact you can bring to completion, even if it's a 300-word short writing piece. But you're going to take on that project. Why? To shift the narrative. To shift, that's all that there is to it. If we are noticing, or if we have noticed that you don't trust anymore your ability to finish things, there are only two paths, and both paths lead to finishing a project so that you now have new proof. When you look back on your personal history, you have proof of finishing something. So when I told him that one option is to reduce the expectations of the level of quality in that original essay, the whole point is to bring that essay to completion, not because it's important to finish that essay, but because then his personal history, the freshest moment of his personal history, is finishing that essay. Or the second option, to abandon it, but take on another significantly easier project right away that he knows he will be able to finish in a relatively short amount of time. Why? Once again, so that then the freshest moment of his personal history becomes a finished project. Doesn't matter how small. However, this takes some negotiating with yourself and being honest with yourself. If I told him, and if I tell you that abandoning the original project or putting it aside for a moment is a relevant and appropriate thing to do, you have to make that agreement with yourself to say, okay, now I'm putting this aside, or I'm completely abandoning this project for a way more valuable long-term goal, which is self-trust. So I'm abandoning this project right now, taking on another one, taking on another mini project, not a massive project that will take months to complete. Because then our building of the narrative is going to take, or rebuilding and editing our personal narrative, internal narrative, is going to take a while. No, we want a fast win. Fast win. Okay, let's take on a project that takes a week to complete. Mini project, mini artistic project, mini habit development project, mini behavior change project, mini courage project, whatever it is. Take that mini project, acknowledge that even though it's significantly easier, right now it's more valuable than the major project that you abandoned or put on hold. It's more valuable because it contributes to something that stands above any and all projects, and that is your internal narrative. Because if you continue moving through life with this sense that you are a person who doesn't finish things, then it doesn't matter how highly you set your aim. It doesn't matter how creative you get with your goals. If you proceed with this idea that you are someone who doesn't finish things. However, if you take this side step, it's not even a step backwards, it's a side step. Okay, I'm putting this goal aside, I'm taking on this project aside, I'm taking on significantly smaller and easier project, I'm bringing it to completion. Now, when I look back, and I'm emphasizing this looking back because that's what it is. What are you carrying with yourself? That personal history that is right now informing you that you are someone who doesn't finish things. Okay, I took that side step, took on that project that will take a week to complete, and I set the bar low, low, so that I know I can complete it. When I complete it, I look back and I say, oh, I'm a person who finishes things. Let me take on another project. Maybe I will not go back to that original one. Maybe it's still too large. Maybe I don't care about it anymore. But let me take on another project slightly more intense, slightly more demanding. Because I can see myself now, or I'm starting to see myself now as someone who finishes what he or she starts. And that's all that there is to it. What is that missing piece? Missing piece that is that you, the vast majority of people listening to this, you on some level recognize that the problem is with inner narrative, but you're not addressing it. You're still prioritizing actions, plans, decisions related to the practical side of these projects. Most of us are not taught that decisions, actions, choices, strategy in cases like this, when you're feeling stuck, they should always prioritize inner narrative. So again, even though you understand it on some level, and you knew it on some level even before I told this to you, you probably never considered sacrificing a project for the sake of inner narrative. You never thought that there is a way to view that small project as equally valuable or more valuable than the grand project, because you're not taught, you haven't been taught to think in a way where that small project, because what it does for your internal narrative, should take priority over the thing that you're struggling with. If not just struggling with, struggle is essential part of every project, but you're struggling with and continuously not able to finish it. So then my question to you is, what is the project you're struggling with? Can you, if it's that personally relevant, can you now make a deal with yourself to set a deadline and say, I'm going to finish this project at a significantly lower quality or slightly lower quality than I wanted and intended? Because that seems to be the thing that's preventing me from finishing. I'm going to now set a deadline. I'm giving myself another couple of days, another week, another 10 days. And whatever the quality of the project is, I'm calling it completed. Or you're going to say, okay, regardless whether I give myself another 5 days or 10 days or 15 days, and I make a commitment to complete it at a lower quality, still, I don't see myself completing it. And it's not personally important enough to continue bashing my head against the wall, so I'm going to put it aside. I'm going to put it on hold or completely scrap it, and I'm going to choose another significantly smaller and easier project that I'm relatively confident in when it comes to my ability to finish it. And I'm going to view that mini project that can be completed in a matter of days or a week or 2 weeks at most. I'm going to view that mini project as not just project for the sake of whatever the external outcome of it is. I'm going to view it as a project of internal narrative shifting or rewriting. My question to you is, what is the current project, and are you going to set a deadline to complete it, or what is the other smaller project that you will use for rewriting and shifting your narrative? As always, stay strong, love life, never feel sorry for yourself. Don't keep bashing your head against the wall with projects that don't deserve to hold you back in life that much. Light that raging fire in your heart to rewrite the narrative of who you are, and always go beyond. Thank you.